Hey, let's talk about the comma operator. The comma operator can cause some issues and some confusion, as we'll see in the next lecture, so we'll just discuss that here before we continue on. The comma operator will evaluate the left-hand operand and discard the results. Then it will evaluate the right-hand operand and return the result. So in other words, it is a binary operator. One important thing to remember is that it has the lowest precedence of all operators, so it's going to be evaluated last, and it is left associative. So let's go and look at an example of what this means. In this example, in the main function, we have this variable x, and we are using these values to initialize it. We have the parentheses, 3, 5, 7, so we are using the comma operator. Now remember that the comma operator is a left associative, so it's going to evaluate from left to right. Then we have a cout statement where we print out x, build and run, and we actually get 7 here. And again, that is because the comma operator is going to discard the left-hand operand. It is left associative, so what we end up with is the value 7, and that will get assigned to x. Now remember that the comma operator has the lowest precedence of all of the operators, so it has a lower precedence than the assignment operator. That is why we have it between parentheses here, those values 3, 5, and 7. So if we were to remove the parentheses, then we would get an error. So build and run, and we can see that we get some errors. Basically what's going to happen is, again, the assignment operator has precedence, so that is going to evaluate first. 3 is assigned to x, and then we are left with 5 and 7, and of course that will give us an error there. So again, for the comma operator to evaluate first, finish evaluating first before we do the assignment, I will use the parentheses in this way. I'm using 3 values in this example, but of course if you use 2 values, you will get a similar result where the final value in the list will get assigned. Because again, it's going to evaluate the left-hand operand, and that can be an expression as well, and then it's going to discard that, and it's going to return the right-hand operand. Alright, the comma operator is used in a few places in C++, as we've seen. We've seen it being used as a separator, where we declare variables, or where we have a function invocation or function parameters, and then also as an operator, as we've seen in this example, in this lecture, and we can also use it in place of a semicolon in some instances. For example, where we have multiple cout statements, instead of ending each one off with a semicolon, we can end the first couple of ones off with a comma, and then only the final one we end off with a semicolon. It is rare to see it being used in this way, but you can use it in this way in the case where you have your variable declarations. Those need to end with a semicolon, so you want to end it like a statement, and then also your final statement in your program should also end with a semicolon. So again, we don't use it in this way, but I just wanted to mention that that is also a situation where you may see the comma being used. So it is used in 3 different places in C++, again as an operator, as a separator, and then also in some instances you can use it in place of a semicolon.